Chapter 1. I sat there, staring at the screen in disbelief. My fingers were shaking, not from excitement, but from the unsettling sense of dread creeping up my spine. The notification on my phone read, Evan, with a photo attached. A small part of me wanted to ignore it, but another part, one I couldn't control, compelled me to open it. The photo loaded slowly, and when it appeared, my heart skipped a beat. There they were, Maya and Evan. Their lips were locked in a kiss, not a fleeting peck, but one full of passion. Intimate, too intimate. The message accompanying it was short, almost mocking. Remember when we were happy? A pit formed in my stomach. What the hell was this? I felt a strange mix of confusion and anger, my mind racing. Why now? Why send this to me? I knew Maya and Evan had a history, but this was something else. I couldn't breathe, my chest tightening as I ran my hand through my hair. I had to see her. I stormed out of the room and headed straight for Maya's place. My mind was on fire, my thoughts tumbling over each other. What did this mean? Did she still think about him? Had I been a fool to believe she was over him? When I arrived, Maya was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone, her usual smile lighting up when she saw me. "Hey babe," she said, her voice soft and warm. "What's up?" I threw my phone on the coffee table, the screen facing up, the photo now burned into my mind. "Maya, what is this?" I demanded, pointing at the screen. She glanced at the photo and immediately looked away, her face tense. "It's nothing," she said quickly, but I saw the way her eyes flickered, avoiding mine. "Nothing? Are you serious? This is something. Why did he send this to me?" I was struggling to keep my voice steady. My hands were clenched into fists at my sides. She sighed, her shoulders sagging. "Evan's just trying to mess with your head. It's from a long time ago. We were together before you, and that was it. It doesn't mean anything now." I took a step back, my mind spinning. But why would he send it now? Why didn't you tell me about it? The hurt in my voice was impossible to hide. "I didn't think it was important," she said, her voice almost defensive. "You're the one I'm with now. I don't care about him." But the cracks in her tone told me a different story. I could hear the hesitation, the uncertainty. It didn't feel right. My trust in her, our relationship, was starting to feel like a house of cards, one gust away from collapsing. "I don't know what to think anymore, Maya." My voice faltered, and I hated myself for it. I didn't want to sound weak, but I couldn't help it. "It feels like I'm just a rebound. Like he's always there, just waiting." She reached out, touching my arm gently, but I couldn't meet her eyes. "No, that's not it at all. I love you. You know that, right?" But all I could think about was that photo. I was drowning in it, suffocating under the weight of that kiss. "I just need to know where I stand with you," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "I need to know if you're really with me or if you're still with him." Maya pulled away, her expression hardening. "I'm with you, okay? But you're making this harder than it needs to be." I stared at her, the words hanging between us like a storm cloud. I wanted to believe her, but I couldn't. Not after seeing that photo. Not after feeling this pit in my stomach that I couldn't shake. "Maybe you should go," I said, my voice hollow. I didn't want to hear her excuses anymore. I needed space to think. I left, the door slamming behind me, and as I stood in the hallway, I realized something. This wasn't just about the photo. It was about everything. My trust in her, my feelings for her, it was all unraveling. I didn't know if I could keep fighting for something that felt like it was slipping through my fingers. As I walked away, I couldn't stop the thought from creeping into my mind. Maybe Evan's message wasn't just a way to provoke me. Maybe it was a reminder, one I wasn't ready to face. Chapter 2. It had been a week since I saw that photo, and honestly, it felt like an eternity. I kept replaying it in my head over and over again, Maya and Evan kissing. I thought I had let it go, but the feeling stuck with me like a thick layer of dust I couldn't brush away. Maya had been acting distant. At first, I tried to chalk it up to stress at work, or maybe she was just in a bad mood. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized it wasn't just a random phase. She was cold, colder than usual. I'd catch her staring out the window with that distant look in her eyes, the kind she used to have when she was deep in thought about something, or someone. "Hey, Maya," I said one night as we sat on the couch, the TV showing some movie neither of us was really watching. "You okay? You've been kind of off lately." She glanced at me briefly, then back at the screen, her lips pressing together. "I'm fine," she replied quickly. Too quickly. I could tell she was lying. She always did that when she didn't want to talk. She would brush it off like it was nothing, but I wasn't stupid. I knew something was wrong. The days passed, and I found myself watching her more than usual. She'd laugh at something on her phone, her fingers swiping through messages too fast for me to see. Evan's name popped into my mind every time. I didn't even need to know if she was talking to him. The thought was enough. A few days later, as we were having dinner, Maya casually mentioned his name. "Oh, Evan called today. He said he's doing well." My fork paused midair. I stared at her, trying to keep my face neutral. "Evan." "Yeah, just checking in." She shrugged, then continued eating, as if it was nothing. But I felt my chest tighten. She hadn't said his name in months, and here she was, bringing him up like it was nothing. Was she still talking to him? Was she still thinking about him? I wanted to ask, to demand answers, but I kept quiet, afraid of what I might hear. The doubt started gnawing at me, eating away at the little bit of trust one still had. That night, when we went to bed, I could feel the distance between us. Her back was turned to me, and her breathing was steady, almost too steady. I wanted to pull her close, but I didn't know if I was still the person she wanted close. I wanted to believe her, to trust her, but the jealousy was suffocating. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, my mind racing. What if I was just a placeholder in her life? A temporary distraction, until Evan came back into the picture? My heart felt heavy, like a weight pressing down on me. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being played, even if she didn't mean to. It came to a head one evening when we were sitting together in the living room. I had been quiet all night, watching her every move, my mind running wild. When she noticed, she finally broke the silence. "Why are you acting like this?" Maya asked, her voice tight with frustration. "Why are you looking at me like that?" I sat up, my emotions spilling over. "Because I don't trust you, Maya. I don't know what's going on with you. One minute, everything's fine, and the next, you're distant. You keep talking about Evan like it's nothing, like he's just another friend. But I can't help but wonder if you're still hung up on him." Her face went pale, and I saw the flicker of guilt in her eyes. "I'm not hung up on him, okay? He's the past. I told you that already. But you don't act like it," I shouted, standing up. "You're still thinking about him, aren't you? You can't even look me in the eye without thinking of him." Maya stood up too, her hands shaking. "That's not fair. I've been trying, okay? But you," her voice broke and she turned away. "You've been accusing me, not trusting me. You're pushing me away, and you don't even see it." I took a step forward, my voice dropping. "Then why are you so distant? Why are you always thinking about him?" She turned back to face me, her eyes red, tears threatening to spill. "I'm not thinking about him. I'm thinking about us. But every time I try to open up, you shut me down, and it's like you don't even care anymore." The silence that followed was suffocating. My chest felt tight, the air thick with everything we hadn't said. I took a deep breath, but it didn't help. "Maybe you're right," I said quietly. "Maybe I'm just scared. I'm scared that I'm not enough for you, that you'll always be thinking about him, and I'm just here, filling the gap." Maya's face softened, and she reached out, but I pulled away. "I need space, Maya," I said, my voice barely a whisper. "I need to figure this out on my own." I left the room without another word, the weight of my own insecurities choking me. All I wanted was to believe in us, but everything felt like it was falling apart, one small piece at a time. As I sat in the dark, I wondered if I was just losing myself in this relationship. Maybe Maya wasn't the one who was lost. Maybe it was me. Chapter 3, I couldn't take it anymore. I had to know. The questions were suffocating me, clawing at my mind with no end in sight. Maya had become more distant with every passing day, and that damn photo, it kept haunting me. Every word she spoke about Evan, every glance she gave her phone, every time she zoned out, it was like she was still holding on to something that wasn't me. I had to confront her. I couldn't keep pretending I was okay with what was happening. I didn't wait for the perfect moment. I couldn't. As soon as I saw her sitting on the couch, looking lost in thought, I knew it was now or never. I slammed the door behind me as I walked in. Maya, we need to talk. She looked up, startled, but her eyes quickly hardened. What is it now, babe? You're acting weird again. I couldn't hold back anymore. No. No more avoiding this. I need answers, Maya. Do you still have feelings for Evan? She froze, her face draining of color. I could see the hesitation in her eyes, and that was all it took. My blood boiled. I'm tired of all the secrecy. You've been so distant, and every time you mention him like it's nothing, I can't just ignore it anymore. I need to know the truth. Her hands trembled as she set her drink down. What are you talking about? Her voice was quiet, but there was a tremor in it that made my heart race. Stop lying, I shouted, slamming my hand against the table. I've seen the way you act around him, the way you talk about him. It's like you're still. I couldn't finish the sentence. My chest was tightening, the emotions threatening to break free all at once. Do you still love him, Maya? Is that what this is? She looked at me, and for a moment I saw the crack in her composure. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. She looked away, her hands clutching the edge of the couch, and then she sighed. I don't know what you want me to say, okay? Yes. I still have feelings for him. I never really got closure with Evan. It's complicated. The words hit me like a physical blow. I couldn't breathe. I felt like the ground had been pulled from under me. You still have feelings for him? The words barely left my mouth, and I could already feel the damage settling in. Maya's eyes were filled with unshed tears as she met my gaze. But I chose you, okay? I chose you, and I want to be with you. But that doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean I just forget everything with him. I took a step back, my mind spinning. I couldn't grasp what she was saying. You chose me? How could you choose me if you're still hung up on him? How do I know I'm not just a rebound? She stood up quickly, her voice trembling. I'm not with you because of him. I'm with you because I want to be. But it's not as simple as you think. It's hard for me to let go of the past, especially when I feel like you don't trust me. How can I trust you after this? My voice cracked, and for a moment I felt like I was losing everything. I thought we were building something real, Maya. I thought I could trust you. She walked towards me, her face crumpling with guilt. I never meant to hurt you. I never wanted to make you feel like this. I don't know how to deal with all of this. It's not black and white, and I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to make this work with you. I'm sorry for holding onto something that wasn't real anymore. I couldn't hold it together anymore. My hands were shaking as I pushed them through my hair. How am I supposed to believe you? How do I know you're not still thinking about him, about your past? You said you chose me, but I don't feel like the choice. I feel like I'm just filling a void for you. Her tears fell freely now, and she reached for me, but I stepped back. I'm sorry, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to fix this, she whispered. I stood there, numb. Maybe it's too late to fix. I turned and walked to the door, not even looking back. Every step felt heavier, like I was carrying a weight I couldn't shake off. As I walked down the hall, the doubt still lingered, like a shadow I couldn't outrun. I kept hearing her words in my head, over and over. I chose you, but how could I believe that when her heart was still divided? It wasn't just her betrayal, it was the fact that I had been living in a fantasy. The relationship I thought we had, the trust one thought we shared, it all felt like a lie. And as I stepped out the door into the cold night, I realized that I might have been the only one who was truly all in. Chapter, for I hadn't slept in days. The image of Maya's confession, her words echoing in my mind, felt like they were eating away at me. I chose you, she had said. But did she really? Or was I just a convenient distraction, a placeholder until Evan, her real choice, came back into the picture? I spent the days wandering through the motions, trying to convince myself that I was being irrational, that she really had chosen me. But the doubt was like a growing storm, swirling inside me, and no matter how hard I tried to calm it, it refused to settle. Maya was no different. She was still distant, still lost in thought, still avoiding any real conversations. It hurt to look at her. Every time she spoke, every time she touched me, I could feel the weight of her past pressing down between us. It was one night, as I sat in the living room, staring at the blank TV screen, that I heard it. Maya's voice was soft, too soft, as she spoke on the phone in the other room. I couldn't hear who she was talking to at first, but I didn't have to guess. I knew. She was talking to Evan. I tried to ignore it, tried to tell myself I had no right to eavesdrop. But my mind wouldn't let it go. I couldn't stop myself. I leaned in closer, straining to hear the words. "Yeah, I miss you too," Maya said, her voice just above a whisper. "I know I shouldn't. It's complicated, you know? I don't know what to do anymore." My stomach twisted. I wanted to walk away, to leave, to not hear any more. But I couldn't. I was frozen in place, listening to her confessions spill into the room like poison. "I don't want to hurt him," Maya continued, her voice breaking. "But I'm still not sure I've let go of us. I don't know if I ever really did." The words hit me like a slap. I felt sick. I had been here trying to piece together something with her, believing in us, while she was still holding on to him. I don't even know how long I stood there, the world spinning around me, as Maya's voice continued, full of sorrow and longing. "I want to be with him, Evan, I do, but it's not the same. It's never been the same since you left." The words were searing through me now, burning everything I had tried to believe in. Maya had never really chosen me. She was still choosing him, even in the midst of everything we had. I stumbled back, barely able to catch my breath. My heart was hammering in my chest, my mind in turmoil. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. I wasn't supposed to be second place. I wasn't supposed to be the consolation prize. I forced myself to move, to get out of that room, away from the betrayal, but my feet felt like lead. I heard Maya hanging up the phone, and she called my name. "Hey, are you okay?" But I didn't respond. I couldn't look at her. Every inch of me was screaming to walk away, to leave her and everything we had behind. I couldn't stay here, not with the knowledge that she was still in love with him, that she hadn't fully let go. I found myself sitting in the corner of the kitchen, staring at the floor, trying to steady my breathing. Maya came in a few minutes later, looking concerned. "What's going on with you? You've been acting so strange." I could feel her standing there, waiting for me to say something, anything. But I was too far gone, my emotions crashing over me in waves. "You're still in love with him, aren't you?" The words came out sharp, bitter. Maya's face fell. She didn't say anything at first, but the guilt on her face said it all. "I don't know what you want me to say," she whispered. "I'm confused. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. But you're still holding on to him," I finished for her. "You're still letting him into your life, and I'm just supposed to be okay with that." She stepped forward, her eyes pleading with me. "I never wanted to hurt you, but you have to understand this isn't easy for me either." I looked up at her, my heart breaking in ways I didn't even know were possible. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to tell her I could still make this work. But I was too tired, too broken. "I can't keep doing this," I said quietly, the words tasting like ash in my mouth. "I can't keep fighting for something that isn't real." Maya froze. "What are you saying? Are you leaving me?" I stood up, my legs weak. I felt like a stranger in my own body. "I don't know, Maya. I really don't know. But I can't keep pretending like everything is fine. I need to figure this out, and I don't think I can do that with you." Her face crumpled as tears filled her eyes. "Please don't do this." I took one last look at her, at the girl I thought I knew, and walked out without another word. As I stepped out into the night, the cold air hitting my face, I knew this was a breaking point. I had to make a choice, whether to walk away and save myself or stay in something that would never be enough. And deep down, I knew what I had to do. I wasn't going to wait around for someone who could never fully commit to me. Chapter 5, I didn't think I could feel any worse, but somehow I did. Every time I saw Maya's face, it felt like my chest was being crushed under the weight of her betrayal. That phone call, the one I overheard between her and Evan, had shattered something deep inside me. I kept telling myself I was wrong, that I shouldn't feel like this, but the truth was I felt nothing but rage. And more than that, I felt a deep, twisted need to make them both feel what I had felt. I tried to ignore it at first, tried to pretend that I could walk away and leave everything behind. But it was like a poison in my veins, pulsing with every heartbeat. I couldn't let this go. I needed to make them pay. Not just Evan, but Maya too. She had chosen him, hadn't she? And now it was time for her to feel the same sting I had. So I began plotting. Slowly at first. Small, calculated moves, pushing Maya further away, making her question herself. I wanted her to feel the kind of doubt I'd lived with every single day since that damn photo showed up. The first step was easy. I started pulling back. I stopped texting her good morning. I ignored her calls a little more than I should have. When she'd ask what was wrong, I'd just tell her I was tired or stressed. But inside, I was savoring the distance. I could see the way she looked at me, confused, unsure of what was happening. I wasn't just withdrawing from her. I was withdrawing from everything. One night, I went to the bar with a couple of friends. I knew Maya would be waiting for me when I got home, but I needed to feel something else, to do something reckless. And I couldn't think of a better place than the bar to start. I watched the way women looked at me, the way they laughed and tried to get my attention. At first, it felt strange. But the more I leaned into it, the more I realized that it felt good. Too good. That's when I saw him, Evan, sitting at a table by himself, looking like he owned the place. He didn't see me at first, but I saw him. And for a moment, I was filled with the kind of anger that made me want to walk over there and do something rash, something I would later regret. But instead, I sat there, stewing in my thoughts. It took a few minutes before he noticed me, his eyes locking with mine across the room. A small smile tugged at the corner of his lips. He got up, strolling over to my table like we were old friends. "Didn't expect to see you here," he said, his tone casual, but with a hint of something more, something smug. I gritted my teeth. "What do you want, Evan?" He raised an eyebrow. "Hey, no need to be like that. I just wanted to say hello. No harm in that, right?" I leaned back in my chair, looking him up and down. "No harm at all," I muttered, my voice sharp. "How's Maya?" His smile faltered, just for a second, but it was enough. "She's fine," he said quickly. "You know how she is." I could tell he wasn't telling me the whole truth, but I didn't care. It didn't matter anymore. "Yeah," I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. "I know how she is." I let the silence hang between us for a moment, letting him stew in his own discomfort. But then I couldn't help myself. "You still want her, don't you?" His face went cold, and for a moment I saw the mask crack. "What the hell are you talking about?" he spat. "You heard me," I said, my voice steady. "You want her. I'm not blind, Evan. I know what you did. I know what she means to you. And the fact that you're still coming around here, trying to act like nothing happened, it's pathetic." Evan's eyes narrowed, and I could see the anger bubbling up behind his carefully constructed facade. But I didn't care. I wanted to see him crack. "Fuck you," he growled. But before he could say anything else, I stood up. I gave him one last look, a smirk playing at my lips, before I walked out. That night, I didn't go home to Maya. I stayed out, getting drunker with every drink. I couldn't face her yet, not after everything that had happened. She was probably waiting for me, worried, confused. But it didn't matter anymore. I had crossed a line, and now I was committed to the game. The next few days, I kept the distance between us. Every time Maya tried to get close, I pulled away a little more. It wasn't hard. She was already walking on eggshells around me, and I could see the cracks starting to show. She asked me if everything was okay, if I was still angry. I told her I was fine. I told her it was nothing. But deep down, I knew she could feel it too, the tension, the coldness. A few days later, Maya asked me again about what was wrong. This time, I looked her in the eyes and said, "You really want to know? You want to know what's going on in my head?" Her face softened, but I could see the uncertainty in her eyes. She nodded, not fully understanding what was coming. "I'm tired, Maya," I said, my voice quieter now. "I'm tired of pretending everything's fine. I'm tired of feeling like I'm just here to make up for something that's been gone for a long time." She opened her mouth to say something, but I cut her off, raising a hand. You've been holding on to Evan, and I've been holding on to nothing. The look in her eyes was heart-wrenching, but it didn't change anything. I had already made my choice. As I walked away from her, I felt a dark satisfaction settle in my chest. I was done being the one who always gave. Now, it was her turn to feel it, to wonder, to question. And as much as it hurt, I knew that this was just the beginning. Chapter 6, I could feel the shift happening, but I didn't want to admit it. Maya was unraveling, and it felt like I was the one slowly pulling the strings. Every day, she became more distant, more confused, and less sure of herself. I had her right where I wanted her. I could see the cracks in her facade, the way she second-guessed everything she said and did around me. It was like watching someone walk on glass, always on the edge of breaking. I couldn't help but feel a twisted sense of satisfaction. This was what I wanted, wasn't it? To make her feel the way I had felt for weeks, drowning in doubt, suffocated by betrayal. I had to admit it, the control was intoxicating. Every small shift in her behavior, every moment of insecurity, felt like a small victory. She was breaking, and I was the one who had pushed her to the edge. One night, Maya came home later than usual. She didn't even try to hide it. Anymore, she was avoiding me. I was sitting on the couch, staring at the TV, but not really watching, waiting for her to walk through the door. When she did, she barely looked at me. I could tell something was off. I could feel her unease, the way her eyes flickered toward me for a split second before she looked away. I put the remote down and stood up. "Where were you?" My voice came out sharper than I meant it to, but I didn't care. I was done with the quiet games. She froze, her shoulders tensing, but then she let out a shaky breath. I was out with some friends. Why does it matter? I didn't answer right away. Instead, I walked toward her, my eyes narrowing. "You've been acting strange for days, Maya. You know exactly why it matters." She shifted uncomfortably, looking everywhere, but at me. I'm just tired, okay? It's been a long week." I scoffed. "A long week? What, you've been spending your time trying to figure out how to get back to Evan." I didn't know where the words were coming from, but they felt good to say. Maya's face faltered, her eyes flickering with panic. "What do you mean by that? That's not fair." "Oh, is it not fair?" I shot back. "You've been acting like I'm not even here. You're still living in the past, Maya. You're still hung up on him, and it's obvious." I felt my chest tightening, the rage bubbling up again. "I don't even know why I'm still here." Her face crumpled, tears brimming in her eyes, but she held them back. "Please, don't do this. I'm not still thinking about him. You have to believe me." She wiped at her eyes, her voice breaking. "I don't want him. I want you." But her words fell hollow. I could hear the doubt in her voice, the uncertainty. How could I believe her? How could I believe anything she said after everything that had happened? I took a deep breath, forcing the anger down, but it didn't work. The words came out before I could stop them. "No, Maya. You don't get to tell me that. You don't get to play the victim here. I've been nothing but patient with you, but you've been nothing but distant. I'm the one who's been here trying to make this work, and you're still caught up in him. I'm done." Her face twisted in pain, and she took a step toward me, her voice pleading. "Please, don't say that. Please, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I never wanted to hurt you. I was confused, and I didn't know how to deal with it. I swear I've chosen you. I've chosen you." I was standing still, my heart thudding painfully in my chest, but I couldn't let myself soften. I couldn't. I had to finish this. "You've chosen me, huh? Then why does it feel like I'm the last person you care about?" She stepped forward again, reaching out, but I pulled back, my body stiff. "Please," she begged, her voice barely a whisper. "I'm sorry. I regret everything. I don't know what's wrong with me. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I cut her off, my voice cold. "But you did. You already did, Maya. And now I'm the one who's stuck with this." She dropped her head, and for a moment I saw her completely unravel. The confident, independent woman I once knew was gone. In her place was a broken girl who didn't know how to fix what she had torn apart. I felt a pang in my chest. A small voice whispered in my head, telling me to stop, telling me that this wasn't the person I wanted to be. But I ignored it. The desire for revenge was too strong. I wanted her to feel everything I had felt, to feel the same burning betrayal that had consumed me for so long. "You have no idea what you've done to me," I said, my voice rough. "I've lost myself in all of this. I've lost my trust, my confidence, and now I don't even know who I am anymore." Maya's sobs were muffled now, her shoulders shaking with the weight of her own guilt. "I'm sorry," she whispered again, her voice cracking. "Please. I never meant to destroy us. I thought I could handle it, but I couldn't. I've made so many mistakes." I stood there torn. Part of me wanted to hold her, to tell her it was okay. But the other part of me, the part that was so deep in my anger, wanted to make her feel the same agony I had gone through. I had become the person I hated, the person who would hurt someone else just to ease their own pain. But as I looked at her, really looked at her, I realized something. I was done. I was done letting revenge define me. I couldn't keep going down this path, not at the cost of everything I once wanted. "Maybe it's too late," I said, my voice quieter now. "Maybe we've already lost each other." Her tears continued to fall, and I felt my heart break all over again. But this time, it was for both of us. Chapter 7, it started to fall apart. Slowly, at first, like a chain of dominoes, tipping over one by one. I'd been waiting for this moment, waiting for karma to show up just like I'd always believed it would. But when it came, it wasn't in the way I had expected. It wasn't a sudden blow, a dramatic event where everything would be laid bare in one grand confrontation. No, it was subtle. It was like watching a slow leak drain the life out of everything. I found out about Evan first. He'd always been a manipulator. That much I knew. But what I didn't expect was that his past would catch up with him so quickly. News spread fast, faster than I could have imagined. People from his past started speaking up, his ex-girlfriends, his so-called friends, even business partners. It all came tumbling out. Lies, cheating, schemes, backdoor deals that ruined people's lives. I heard the whispers at work. I saw it all unfold through the messages on my phone. People were talking about him. And the more I listened, the more I understood. Evan's web of lies was unraveling, and he was losing everything. His reputation crumbled in a matter of days. His business tanked. He started showing up at places looking like a shell of the person he used to be. And for the first time in what felt like forever, I didn't feel the rush of satisfaction I thought I would. I thought I would feel joy. I thought this was what I had been working towards, the payback, the revenge I had dreamed of for so long. But the more I watched him self-destruct, the less it mattered. The idea of him crumbling didn't bring me peace. It brought me a strange sense of emptiness. Maya, meanwhile, was falling apart too. I watched her trying to keep it together, trying to hold on to whatever she had left. But I could see the cracks. She was no longer the confident woman I once knew. She was lost, broken, stuck in a past that had ruined everything she had. She started to reach out to me more often, texting and calling, asking for help, for guidance, for something to hold on to. But how could I help her? She destroyed everything with Evan, and now she was trying to cling to me like I was her lifeline. But I knew it wasn't about me. It was about her trying to make sense of her mistakes, of the things she had lost. One night, she called me, voice shaking, asking if we could talk. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I agreed. When I showed up at her apartment, she was sitting on the couch, her eyes red from crying. She looked at me, but there was nothing left in her gaze. No anger, no hope, just a raw emptiness. "I've ruined everything," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. "I ruined it with him. I ruined it with you. I don't know what to do anymore." I sat down beside her, unsure of what to say. How could I comfort her? How could I give her any advice when I, too, was struggling to make sense of everything that had happened? "I tried to make it right," she continued, her voice breaking. "I thought I could fix things, but I couldn't. I lost you both, and now I have nothing." I could see the weight of her regret, the guilt that was consuming her, but I couldn't feel sorry for her anymore. Not after everything that had happened. Not after how she had left me questioning my worth. You made your choices, Maya, I said, my voice steady. You made them, and now you're dealing with the consequences. You can't keep looking back. It's too late for that. Her eyes filled with tears, and she looked away. I don't know how to move on. I don't know who I am anymore. I didn't know how to respond. The anger I had felt for so long was fading, replaced by a hollow sense of understanding. I had been holding on to my anger, to my need for revenge, but it had never really been about Evan or Maya. It was about me, and how I had let everything consume me. I'm not the person I thought I was, I admitted, looking down at my hands. I wanted revenge. I wanted to make you both feel what I felt, but all it did was destroy me. It destroyed us. Maya's eyes searched mine, desperate for something, anything. What do we do now? She asked, her voice barely audible. Can we fix this? Can we fix what's broken? I shook my head. I don't know, Maya. I really don't know. I had been holding on to the idea of revenge for so long that I didn't realize how much it had changed me. I had become bitter, consumed by anger, pushing everyone away, including myself. And in the end, karma had already done its work. It wasn't Evan who had to pay the price, it was both of us. I looked at Maya one last time. She was broken, but maybe she needed to be. Maybe we both did. I'm walking away, I said softly. I can't keep doing this. I have to move on. I have to heal. Maya didn't say anything, but I saw the way her face crumpled in pain. She didn't beg me to stay. She didn't try to convince me to fight for us. She just nodded slowly, tears sliding down her cheeks. I stood up, feeling the weight of the moment pressing down on me. This was it. The end of the road. No more games, no more revenge, just the painful reality that we had both lost. I walked out of her apartment, closing the door softly behind me, and for the first time in what felt like forever, I felt the weight of everything lift off my shoulders. I wasn't free yet, but I knew one thing: I had to let go. And that, for once, felt like the only thing I could control. Chapter 8. I spent the past few weeks in a haze, trying to find some sense of peace amid the wreckage of my emotions. The anger, the doubt, the feeling of betrayal. I had let it consume me for so long. But somewhere in all of that chaos, I found clarity. I realized that I couldn't keep holding on to the past. I had to let it go. And I had to let go of them. Maya, Evan, everything. I wasn't the same person I was when this all started. I had been lost, unsure, clinging to a version of myself that was shaped by hurt and revenge. But now, standing on the edge of all that, I knew it wasn't who I wanted to be anymore. I was ready to move forward. I was ready to build something new, starting with me. Maya tried reaching out, of course. Texts, calls, even some desperate voicemails. She wanted to talk, to explain herself, to ask for forgiveness. But each time, I ignored her. I couldn't keep letting her drag me back into this mess. I couldn't keep trying to fix what had already broken. I had to fix myself first. One evening, I was sitting on the balcony, staring out at the city lights, my mind clearer than it had been in weeks. The silence felt right. It wasn't empty, like I had thought it would be. It felt like freedom. My phone buzzed. It was a text from Maya. I'm sorry. I know I hurt you. I'm sorry for everything. I stared at the message for a long time, my thumb hovering over the screen. Part of me wanted to reply, to tell her that I understood, that I forgave her. But I didn't. I couldn't. It wasn't about forgiveness. It was about me. And the truth was, forgiving her wouldn't change what happened. It wouldn't change the damage that had been done. The only thing that could change was me. And I was done letting my life be defined by others' actions. I deleted the message and put the phone down. No more second-guessing myself. No more reliving the past. I didn't need her approval, or his, or anyone's. I needed to take control of my own life. The next morning, I found myself standing in front of the mirror, looking at the person staring back at me. I didn't recognize that person when all of this started. I had been so consumed by anger and hurt that I lost sight of who I was. But now I saw someone stronger, someone who had learned from his mistakes, who was no longer afraid of moving on. I grabbed my jacket, stepped out the door, and for the first time in a long while, I felt lighter. I went for a walk. It was a simple thing, really. Just a walk through the park, with the sun on my face and the breeze in my hair. But it felt like a new beginning. I passed by a couple sitting on a bench, their laughter filling the air, and for the first time, I didn't feel bitter. I wasn't jealous of what they had. I wasn't angry that I didn't have it. I was at peace. I sat down on the grass by the lake and let the moment wash over me. I didn't need to hold on to the past anymore. Maya, Evan, all of it was mine to carry. I had a future ahead of me, one I could shape however I wanted. And for the first time, I was excited about it. The thing about karma, I realized, was that it wasn't about waiting for the other person to suffer. It was about healing yourself, about finding peace within yourself, even if the people who hurt you never get what they deserve. I couldn't control them. I could only control how I reacted, how I chose to move forward. I pulled out my phone, but this time, instead of seeing Maya's messages, I opened a new app. A new project I had been putting off for months. I felt a spark of excitement as I began making plans, setting goals. I had dreams of my own, and I was finally ready to chase them. Later that evening, I ran into an old friend, someone I hadn't spoken to in a while. We caught up, talked about life, shared a few laughs. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I was living. Not surviving, not trying to fix something that was already broken, but actually living. I couldn't help but smile. I had been so focused on revenge, on making Maya and Evan feel what I had felt, that I had forgotten what it was like to truly live. But now, I was finally starting to remember. When I got home, the first thing I did was throw away everything that reminded me of them. Old photos, texts, anything that tied me to the past. It wasn't about erasing memories. It was about moving forward without letting those memories control me. And then I did something I hadn't done in a while. I took a deep breath and let go of the anger. I wasn't going to be defined by what happened. I was going to be defined by what I did from this point on. I knew there would still be hard days ahead. Days when the memories would creep back, when doubt would return. But I wasn't afraid of those days anymore. I had learned how to face them, to let them come and go without letting them take over. As I closed my eyes that night, I knew this was the beginning of something new. A new chapter in my life, one where I wasn't shackled by revenge or regret. It was my story now, and I was going to write it. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful about the future.